There.
Or yeah, I'll have to do some kind of a signal. I'm probably
Your
doing
signal's
something,
great, Vida.
as long as it's not an offensive signal.
No,
No,
we don't need anything offensive. There's enough offense out there in the world.
there is. Yeah,
Everywhere you look, there's I'm offended by stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so here we are, January 26th, Bell Let's Talk Day, which we'll talk more about in a little bit. We're here to do another MAAT session. I am Margaret Major. I am a registered counseling therapist here at the After Trauma Empowerment Network in Shubenacadie, Nova Scotia. I'm joined with Vida Woodworth, who is co-host and chairperson on our board of directors. And Kate Matthews is also here. She's behind the scenes. She's our technical director. She'll kind of keep everything running smoothly. We put a lot of trust and faith in Kate. She doesn't let us down. Yes. So today we're going to talk. It might not be a full hour today, but Vida and I discuss that often before shows, and we tend to always go over.
Yes.
We're thinking today might just be maybe a half an hour, but as history has
We'll
shown,
see.
we get talking and the time flies. And next thing you know, it's 7:15 and we've gone over by 15 minutes. And look at me talking right now. I could be saying something else that's more valuable. Okay. So I'll do our diversity welcome, and then we'll do a check-in, and then I have a couple of websites that I want to show, Bell, and there's a new program that I became aware of recently that I want to share in case there's people who want to access those services. Okay, so we would like to welcome all women, men, transgender, and other identified individuals here today. We welcome everyone here who is a mother, father, sister, brother, auntie, uncle, son, daughter, grandmother, or grandfather. Welcome. We welcome people of all races, tribes, and descents. We welcome your bodies, your minds, and your energy. We welcome survivors and those who support them. We welcome all people single, married, partnered, dating, celibate, or involved in whatever sort of relationship is right for you. We welcome gay, lesbian, bisexual, heterosexual, asexual, two-spirited, and for others, none of the current labels fit. We welcome your emotions, your joy, your bliss, your frustration, disappointment, sadness, anger, hurt, all of your emotions, welcome. We welcome everyone's special way of understanding and knowing the world, everyone's wisdom, whether it is education that has been learned in schools, universities, and colleges, and/or the deep and profound school of life. We welcome those living with chronic medical conditions or disabilities, visible and invisible. We welcome mystics, seekers, and believers of all kinds. We welcome people who identify as activists, community leaders, group members, musicians, artists, and those who don't. And finally, we'd like to welcome the ancestors who lived on this land where we are now. Welcome the spirits of Mi'kmaq, the natives who lived in this area before the Europeans came. We'd like to acknowledge them and invite their spirits to this space. Everyone, welcome, welcome, welcome. And big thanks and gratitude for taking some time out of your day, for joining us and just hanging out with us. If you have any comments or anything, please just type them down in the chat bar and we'll be happy to talk about it. Or if you got a good joke, we were trying to find a good joke before we came on. We need a good joke. So if anyone's got a good joke they want to share, we're all up for that. Yes. And we want to extend our thanks and gratitude to the Mental Health Foundation of Nova Scotia for their financial support in Project MAAT and us being able to do this program every Wednesday evening. We are very grateful for their support. Okay, so Vida, here we are. I guess it's the last week of January.
Yes, yes.
And it's just flown by. Like, it just feels like, I feel like I'm still back in December.
Yeah.
Here a whole month has gone by, and you know, we're almost into February. We've had some pretty snappy weather. I'm not sure how to
Yeah.
refer to it.
Yeah. One day it's minus 20, and the next day it's, well, not plus 20, but it's plus 10.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then snow either on Fridays or Saturdays.
Yeah.
And then usually followed by rain, and then lots of ice. And yeah, so it's the time of year, because of the temperature fluctuations, that people would normally probably have flus and colds and those kinds of things. And of course now we have COVID thrown in the mix. So
Yeah.
every time someone has a headache, a sniffle, a scratchy throat, you know, automatically it's panic. Is it COVID? And whereas before COVID, you know, people would say, oh, it's probably the flu, or there's a virus going around, and it wouldn't be that, you know, we wouldn't look at it.
It didn't mean what it means today.
No. So
Yeah.
yeah. And you know, we still see with this variant lots and lots of people getting sick, and still, even though it's not as this variant doesn't seem to be making people as sick, there are still lots of people who are ending up in hospital, lots of people who are ending up in intensive care units, and still lots of people who are dying. And so it's not something that you know, is going to end anytime soon, I don't think.
No.
Yeah, even though if we could wish it away, it would be gone, because there's been a lot of people, pretty much everybody, wishing it was gone, and that's not working. So
Yeah.
yeah.
The anxiety, like just in the past 3 weeks with the clients I've been speaking with, a lot of people, and myself included, I've noticed the level of stress and anxiety from one day to the next, because you don't know, are the stores going to close down again? Will I be able to buy
Yeah.
toilet paper and dish soap? Or like,
Yeah.
it's and
Yeah.
I've just noticed that a lot of people are frustrated and anxious and stressed.
Yeah. And it's again, the things that we often turn to help our winter blahs, or our stress, or our anxiety, we can't do because of COVID. And you know, the going to watch a hockey game at your local arena, or you know, watching kids play sports in the schools. And you know, so unless it's outside and you can socially distance, or I think the kids can practice in Nova Scotia, at least some of the sports that they play, but I don't think there's any competition happening right now.
Yeah, I don't think.
Yeah, so it's, again, you know, really affecting people's participation in sport, and also as a fan or an audience person. You know, even going to the movies is hard to do. So it's yeah, it's made us, I guess, really think about what we need to do to kind of deal with our stress and find new ways. And we've been talking on our show about some, you know, different ways people artistically, you know, do things to help relieve their stress, or help them deal with depression or mental health issues, or just to pass time. And the same with music, whether it's playing music or listening to music or whatever. There are lots of different ways that people have found music has helped. And so, those are things that with COVID, fortunately, we can still do them.
Oh,
And
yes. Yes.
yeah. And yeah, I was thinking when you said, today is Bell Let's Talk Day. And I think I remember saying this last year at this time. Not, we didn't have our show then, but I think we should have a Bell or a Let's Listen Day, because I think we should maybe focus some time on remembering how to really listen when somebody really
That's a
needs to
great
talk.
idea. Yeah.
So, for all those talking today, hopefully you're having a good experience and that there is somebody there who's really listening. And
Yeah.
I noticed on some of the advertisements for this day coming up, they had little vignettes, and they emphasized the person was saying, "I'm here for you," or I'm there. And so really encouraging people to talk, but also letting them know that you are there to listen. Um, and that's also, pretty important. It's really, it's kind of a really cool experience when you're talking to realize that the person you're talking to is really listening to what you're saying. And there's a big difference between really listening and just kind of sort of listening. And these kinds of topics need someone there to really listen.
And the page that I'm going to share here in a few minutes,
Yeah.
the Bell Let's Talk page, they have some ways that we can help.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
one thing that I'll show will add to what you were just saying. It's
Yeah.
talking about I guess maybe empathetic listening. And
Yes.
and not because sometimes, see, look, I'm starting to talk about it before I even showed
That's okay. That's all right.
See, sometimes people are so quick to, well, this is how you need to fix this. This is what you need to do. This is how you need to address this. And so quick to offer ways to fix or solutions. And the person might just need to know that they're being heard, like you said, like somebody's listening, and they're not, busy thinking, okay, how am I going to help? What am I going to do? How do I fix this? Because it makes me uncomfortable. We need to fix this.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I just will let you take over, Margaret. And
well, I'm curious about this post over here. I want to see. I have reached a true company that will have that. Oh, okay. So I guess Curly's down in Enfield. This is a post from Leanne. Curly's, I think they're going to put an exit in there, is what she's saying, like a highway exit. So Curly's will be demolished, and she's in touch with somebody that maybe we can have a craft night with resin epoxy and wooden pieces from Curly's.
Oh, well, there we go.
That's very creative. Yeah.
Just a little trivia tidbit. When I think it was after Curly's was open, my dad had, his father had worked a lot in the woods and had used power saws. And back in the olden times, in the olden days, they would say power saws were much bigger and much heavier than they are today. And Dad asked the owner of Curly's at the time if he had a place to display these great big giant old power saws. And so one of our family claims to fame was that we had a couple of power saws that hung in Curly's from the rafters. So I don't know if they would still be there.
Yeah.
But I would imagine when they had their auction or whatever, it may have gone, but there was some lovely wood all throughout that building. So
Oh, there was
I
some
hope
amazing
it's,
pieces.
yeah, recycled and used for good and for maybe creative ideas for the
Yeah,
future.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that building's been there as long as I've been around. I remember it
Yeah.
was a funeral home.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's
No.
not a ramp, it's an exit for the beer business going in.
Ah, okay.
Okay. Thank you, Leanne, for the clarification. Yeah, we need more beer businesses.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So one thing, just quickly, one initiative that I wanted to just mention is the Tapeouthate. So that's something that's going on in the National Hockey League right now. You can buy hockey tape. That's it. Yes.
Yep. I thought you were going
Sometimes
there.
the synapses don't connect, Ida. You know what it's like. Sometimes they're trying to connect,
Yeah.
but they miss. Yes, you can buy hockey tape that says Tapeouthate on it. And it's all about raising awareness and making movements towards eliminating the racism that exists. It's
Yeah.
raising awareness about racism that exists in the NHL and in probably all hockey leagues
Yes.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah.
all sports, because this is a systemic underlying issue that affects all our systems, not just
Yeah.
the NHL.
Yeah.
But this is a great initiative for the NHL to have going. So please support that and take an opportunity to learn. There's lots of stories on the internet about people that have experienced discrimination and racism in sport. Just
Yeah.
yeah, and I just wanted to share that because when
Yeah.
I saw the commercials for that, they're quite powerful and like I think it was PK Subban who said
Yeah.
all this awareness, but what are we going to do to change? Like we
Yeah.
need to see those changes being made. So
Yeah.
it's one thing to talk about it, but what are we going to do?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
those are equally important conversations. Yeah.
Yeah. And one thing that I like about the Bell Let's Talk Day is that from the very beginning, um, athletes and celebrities have shared their own stories of dealing with mental health, and kind of every year there are more and more people who are willing to talk about, living with anxiety or depression or whatever, mental health issue it is that they're dealing with. And because when one person, like an NHL player, says that this isn't okay and I'm not going to accept this, like the Take Back Hate, the hockey tape, those kinds of things make a difference, and it filters down, because it does, you're right, it happens at all levels, from little timbits in hockey all the way up to whatever levels you can go to. And it's, I think, more and more sporting organizations are really working towards making sport safe for everyone, whether it's because of race, sexual orientation, gender, any of those things. Anybody should be able to participate in sport and feel safe. And that's something that unfortunately hasn't always happened. And it's really good to see. And like you mentioned, PK Subban said, now's the time, not just to talk about it, but to actually take some action and see some things happening when it happens, that there are consequences. And it isn't just the person who was targeted by the action who should respond, but everybody should be responding and saying, this isn't
Bystanders.
okay. the bystanders, the coaches, the parents, the whoever's in the stands or whatever watching and witnessing need to say it's not okay. Because it is everybody's issue. And if it is everybody's issue, then we should all be doing something.
Yeah. Well said, Vida. And
Yeah.
before, just because we're on the topic of racism, before we came on and hit the record button for the show, Vida, Kate, and I were talking about the racism in the old children's books. Like,
Yes.
it's just incredible. Like, wow. And these things were normalized, you know. You got this book, and it's just full of very racist, you know, comments and attitudes. And
and that even the message that children were to be seen and not heard. And you know, I don't know how many times I heard that growing up, and you know, and there are things that, you know, kids need to be able to say and be heard. And you know, but if, you know, just a simple message like that and how much damage it can do to somebody.
I know. So another it's not an issue. There, my brain's doing it again. See, that's because I didn't eat my supper before, and I'm going to eat it after. Lesson to be learned. So I'm opening up a website here. Let me see. This is Bounce Back is what it's called. It's a program by CMHA, Canadian Mental Health Association. There we go. Is that showing, Vida?
Yes.
Okay. So this is a program that is free. It's for people that are feeling mental health issues. So a lot of stress, depression, anxiety. This will match you with a coach who will work with you to gain skills, awareness, and strategies to be able to deal with those mental health issues. You do have to, there is a little bit of a process, like you would go down and select your province, and it is available in all provinces now. And you need so I went through this with a client, so I could learn kind of the process of, okay, do you just sign up for this, or do you have to register? How does it work? So, you know, your general information, your address and contact info, and then it wants to know, you need to provide your doctor or your nurse practitioner or psychiatrist information. So that's just part of their intake process. And then they look at your information, and they will get back to you and set you up with a coach and a plan. And I haven't heard any updates as of yet. If anybody has taken this program, I would love to hear your feedback on it. What you learned, what parts were helpful? If you would recommend it. I think looking at the statistics down here, 93% would recommend it to a friend.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
I just wanted to share that link, and I'll post it under the video when I put it in the description. You know, this sounds so great. So great for people. And I mean, I don't know. Can you ever have too much support? I don't think so.
No.
Okay, so that was the other check. So we're not going to hit our half-hour mark, but that's okay. Now we're going to go to Bell for a minute.
Yes.
So this is on the Bell 2022 Bell Let's Talk website page. And it talks about, these are ways that you can help that you can help yourself, that you can help others, and ultimately probably help community and the world.
Mhm.
So this is focusing, I think this year, because of COVID, there's kind of a spotlight on the stress that has been caused by the pandemic that people are feeling. And even, I mean, even at an unconscious level, we're all kind of feeling this, what's the word, discombobulation.
That
things aren't
sounds like a good word.
things aren't what we were used to 3 years ago. Things are different.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
being able to recognize the signs of stress for you, like for Vida, you might experience the signals that, okay, I'm getting overloaded here. That might be different for you than me.
Yes.
For some people, eating too little or eating too much, sleeping too much or sleeping too little. These can be signs
Yeah.
of too much stress. And stress will amplify or add to any kind of, well, most mental health issues like anxiety.
Yeah.
Like for me,
Yeah.
I live with anxiety on a daily basis. Some days it's easily managed than other days. And it so my self-awareness of, okay, Margaret, when you're starting to pace this way, you've got too much going on. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
What steps can you take to either, reduce the stress you're dealing with? Is there a new way I can reframe this so that I'm not perceiving it in a stressful way? And sometimes that takes some work, being able to, tell yourself a different message than what your brain is saying, because an anxious brain thinks a lot
Yes.
different than a calm brain that isn't anxious.
Yeah.
And stress isn't just a psychological thing, it affects us physically too. And I think, isn't it true that, maybe I should have checked this before the show, but isn't it true that like stress is the #1 killer out there?
Yes, especially when you connect it to things like stress can increase your risk of cardiovascular disease. Um, it can increase risk-taking behavior. Like it's connected to just about
Everything.
everything. And even when we look at diseases like cancer, stress. Stress creates inflammation in your body, and inflammation creates an environment where cancer can grow quickly. And yeah, so
Yeah.
it most certainly is probably that kind of root cause that creates an environment where other kinds of things can happen. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and even this morning I was watching the morning news. And one of the local nutritionists was on talking about how diet is really important to keep yourself mentally healthy as well. And two of the things that she pointed out were to include in your diet were the B vitamins,
Hmm.
and also omega 3, and because those helped keep uh, you were talking earlier about losing those connections in your brain.
Yeah.
Um,
Exactly.
those two particular things, if you include them in your diet um, on a regular basis, help keep the connections in your brain and the coverings on the nerves and so on healthy and working properly. And there is definitely a connection to how our gut health is and our mental health. And it's just, amazingly something that I think we're hearing more and more about. And but again, just something as simple as changing your diet and eating differently or health in a more healthy way can help stay mentally healthy as well as physically healthy.
Yeah.
Um, Yes, it's amazing how, and the same as if you're mentally not well, how that can affect you physically,
Oh,
um, and can manifest itself in physical illnesses and unwell
oh, they're
feelings.
so connected. So,
Yeah,
so intricately connected.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
So I
yeah,
need some omega-3 is what you're saying, Lida. If I
well,
take
yes.
omega-3, my synapses will always connect.
Well, it'll help. And if you make sure you got your B vitamins going there,
Yeah, I take
um,
my B's, my
yeah,
B12.
then
Yeah.
that should help as well. Yeah.
So you pretty much listed everything that's on the other side of the page here.
Oh, sorry,
So that's
Margaret.
about, no, that's great, Lida. That's great. Taking care of yourself. So you were talking
Yeah.
about, physical, psychological. There's also social. So connecting with
Yes.
others. I know we can't go out and, we haven't been able to have a jam at our place, like a big, good old grad jam
Yeah.
for a long time now. And that's, we need, we have found new ways of connecting with people, and we need to use that. We have
Yeah.
to have that connection with others. We can't do it alone. We don't do it alone.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's part of
People
taking care of yourself. Yeah.
really have noticed a lack of physical connection to people, like that freedom we used to have when we saw a really good friend to go up and give that person a hug, or they would give you a hug. And even within families, people are so concerned and want to be careful, that people that normally would touch each other, like put your hand on someone else's hand when you're talking, or put your arm around them, or give them a hug. We're not doing those things, and we have a need to have that happen. um, and again, we've talked in other shows about that touch can be difficult for some people for different reasons,
Mhm.
but a lack of appropriate caring touch can also be a problem and can cause problems for
Yeah.
people, and people are really really missing that kind of thing.
Yeah.
um,
I know.
yeah.
I know. Once it's all over, we'll have a big hug fest.
Yeah, big hugathon.
Taking care of others. So this is about, so some people can be more vulnerable to the effects of the pandemic and the stress. Older people, people with immune compromised diseases, children and teens. So children and teens, sometimes well, there isn't an adult way of understanding the world. And I was talking to a client recently who has a 6-year-old daughter, and the 6-year-old daughter, so for the past 2 years of her school life, it's been dealing with COVID. So she doesn't know what it was like pre-COVID
Mm,
to go to school and not wear a mask, and everything just be as it was for you and I when we went to school. And and this 6-year-old girl doesn't necessarily understand about, she knows there's COVID out there, but she's worried about getting the COVID. And
yeah.
this little girl is just going off of information that she's learning, on the playground,
Yeah.
and talking about, well, if you look at someone too long, you could get COVID, and and it's just that misinformation out there for some of the younger people who might not know to go to an adult or ask a doctor or somebody else, like, is this true? Is
Yeah.
Can I really, am I going to catch it if I do this, or will I
Yeah.
die? And these are new stresses for children and teens, youth, to be trying to deal with on top of the regular life stresses that they already have to deal with. And
Yeah.
I think we need to allow we need to allow them a space and just ask and check in sometimes. Like, is there anything that you want to talk about when it comes to COVID, or how
Yeah.
are you doing? And those check-ins are so important. The
Yeah.
check-ins with ourselves and with each other. Like, we need to do those check-ins with ourselves too. And how's my breathing? How am I doing today? Am I feeling okay? Am I feeling overwhelmed? Do I, want to go tear down a tree? What do
Yeah.
I want to do?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I keep thinking of children, there are children that are, 2 and going on 3 years old now, who have never seen um, other people, especially adults who aren't close family members, without a mask on.
Yeah.
And so, one of the things you do when you're little is figure out how to read facial expressions
Right. Kinda.
and stuff. And so they are living in a world where they've only had very few experiences of seeing someone's full face. And we don't know for sure how that will affect them in the long run,
No, we don't.
and how we can help them to overcome this, if it does cause problems. What are some ways, programs, or things we can do with someone to help account for the fact that they're missing out on this opportunity.
Yeah.
So I like they've been saying, that the illness itself is a big issue right now, but it's going to be the fallout of the illness and how we've had to um, deal with it that will be what we have to deal with in the future. Is how to, because it has affected people and it is going to, and we need to be prepared to be able to support each other and help each other through that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a pretty wicked bang we just had.
I
Sounded
know.
like it was on the roof.
I don't know if we have a friend that lurks in our office, but the door's been shutting and opening several times during tonight's show, Margaret.
What's going on, Vida?
So we may have to investigate after our show's over just to see if there's a door that has a.
We'll get our technical director on it.
Yeah, I think it's in the office here somewhere, but
Oh my.
I'll just pretend that it isn't right now.
Yeah. And someone with anxiety doesn't know how to take that, Vida.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Connect to help. There is help out there. And the Canadian Psychological Association, I think, where is it? I have it up here. They have a page, psychology
Works.
Psychology Works fact sheets.
Yes.
And I just want to show, like, quickly, look at all these sheets, all this information on here. I was looking through it a couple of nights ago and I'm like, wow, how did I not stumble across this before?
Yeah.
So all kinds of different areas, sexual and gender identity, chronic illnesses, autism, all kinds of good stuff. And I'll post that link in the description too, because I think there's a lot of great reading that could happen.
Yeah.
Okay, back to Belle for a minute. Here's the listening with empathy. That's what I wanted to add to what you were talking about earlier when you were talking about listening. Like, we should have maybe a national listening day where we increase awareness about listening skills and how to listen with empathy. Because these are powerful things. Like, it's incredible for me sometimes. I have people come in for an appointment or a session, and they talk for the whole session, and then they, like, it's amazing when a person has the space and they allow themselves just to talk that they might even be surprised sometimes with what they might say themselves. Like it might be
Mhm.
something that they wasn't necessarily even in their conscious awareness, but something big will come out and people have been like, did I just say that? And then they walk out and they thank me. And it's like, I just allowed you the space.
Yeah,
You did all the work. Like
yeah,
it was all you. It,
yeah,
and I'm thankful. It's like, no, thank you for
yeah,
for sharing with me. Like that's the honor part of the work that we
yeah,
do.
yeah. But people trust you enough to allow themselves to take the risk and talk. And yeah, people people have the solutions. It's just they need the space where
Exactly.
they feel safe
Yeah.
and they trust enough to come to that place where they go, oh, that's what I had to do, and I knew that all along, and yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah,
And
it's
I think, yeah.
it's funny when like when you said they say thank you, and it's like, no, thank you, because really they're doing all the, in many ways they're doing all the work or a lot of that hard work. And
I do. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. And I think, as you've said before, a person is their own expert on their own life. Like I I can't be, Vida's expert on her life. That's Vida's the expert on her life,
yeah,
as we all
yeah,
know. Okay,
yeah.
that's it for there. Now I'll stop screen sharing and we'll go back to our regular screen. There we go.
There we go.
There.
I just also think sometimes too when we say listen, people think that that's something you just do with your ears, and we know that a lot of what people communicate is part of it. A very small part of it is actually what the words are. Um, the rest is facial expressions, body language, tone of voice, um, how fast or slow somebody's talking.
Yeah.
Um, so when we're listening, we need to be also watching and just looking for those uh, movements or postures or facial expressions that may be telling us something completely different from what the words the person is saying are telling us. And that's what really listening is really paying attention and and using every sense you have to to get a good understanding of what that person is really trying to tell you or trying to say.
Yeah, it is very much an active process.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Maybe we'll do a show on listening.
yeah.
We'll just sit for an hour.
And listen.
We'll sit and listen. Yes.
Yeah,
Now, Leanne put another post on here. I want to see what it says. Okay. I don't know if, okay. I won't read them. Okay. So we've been talking about Bell Let's Talk, but I
yeah.
didn't actually, we haven't actually said what you do. So you text, and I see if we had a fancy, production team and editing team, we would have the, what do you call that? The hashtag? Is that what it's called?
Yes,
I don't want to call
yeah.
it the wrong thing because
It's you
I'm out
can
of
do
date with some things.
I think it's like any way on you can do social media. So you can do Instagram, TikTok,
Yeah.
Facebook, hashtag Bell Let's Talk, any of those things, and that if you do those, there's 5 cents that gets Bell will donate to mental health organizations.
Yeah.
And I think one thing I heard today, if you have an iPhone, you need to disable your iPhone thing in order for that to get picked up. But
Oh, oh,
yes,
well, that's
so
helpful.
just yeah, just, text somebody, call somebody, Instagram them. I'm trying to remember all the things you can do. And all of that will get counted. And this morning at 8:30 or 8:45, they had already had over 6 million interactions that had been recorded. And that was like first thing this morning.
Wonderful.
So, by the end of today, I can't even imagine it'll be tens of millions of interactions, I guess, which will mean a lot of money. You need to disable the iMessage. That's it. Thank you, Kate.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, I hope, that it will provide funding for much needed programs and supports throughout our country. And whether it's in the rural communities or cities, and they also try and allocate the funding to just kind of like Christmas Daddies in Nova Scotia is, if you donate from your community, that money comes back to your community. So they try and allocate the funding back to the area that the money's coming from. So it doesn't all go to just the big city centers. It gets spread about around Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all matter.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Well, Vida, it's 6:51.
I should say we could probably end there, because we could get on another
Oh, well.
ramble and end up, it would be 8:00.
I'm looking at Marner, and I just feel like I need to just show Marner.
Show Marner. Yes, you haven't had Marner on for a long time.
Marner.
Yes. I think we need to make a Montreal Canadiens emotional support bear. Marner's definitely a Leafs fan, but
yeah,
our dear Montreal is having a hard time this year.
I know. Are they ever? Leaf fans aren't the ones who need emotional support.
Yeah, you're right, Kate. us Montreal fans need it.
Poor Kate.
Yeah. Oh, guess what I found in my pocket, Margaret?
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yes.
We'll sort that out.
Yes.
In a few minutes.
Yes, I brought
piqued some curiosity out there.
I brought a small gift for Margaret tonight and went to present it to her, and it was empty. So then I thought I left it at home, and did look in my pockets, but I didn't find them. But now I just looked in my pocket, and there it was. So
well, there you go. It was just meant to unfold that way, Vida.
Yeah, I didn't just bring you an empty bag. Has much more impact when there's actually a gift in the bag.
Still has meaning to me, Vida.
Yes, there we go.
Yes. Okay.
So, I think on that note, we should.
Yes. We'll do our little loving kindness meditation, just so we can leave on that peace note, and I'll go home and make my eggs and ham and my Eggo waffle.
Yes.
That I'm looking forward to so much.
Get those synapses snapping.
Yes, and watch the Leafs game.
Yes.
The Leafs game. Yeah. I'm not even sure who they're playing tonight, but I'm so glad that there's a Leafs game. Yes. It's a great distraction.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So for the next couple of minutes, just be comfortable, just where you're at. Just allow yourself just to be comfy. If you're comfortable closing your eyes, please do so. And if you're not comfortable closing your eyes, just find something that you can fix your stare on, just for the next minute or so. Just allow your breathing just to be natural. You don't need to control it in any way. Hear the sounds in the room around you, being present in this moment. putting all your stresses and all your worries up on the shelf. Begin to feel any tension you might be holding. Begin to feel that start to drain away from you. Feel it drain away from around your eyes, your face, through your neck, your shoulders, and down your arms. Feel any tension drain like a liquid down through your body and out through your toes. Now begin to feel your body fill up with love. Imagine a loving white light entering your feet, traveling up through your body, up to your stomach, to your chest and your arms. Feel it almost bursting through your heart, your fingers, and through the crown of your head. And when you feel embraced in that love, silently repeat the following words to yourself. May I be free from all harm. May I be safe and protected. May I be free from all suffering. May I be happy. May I be free from all disease and physical pain. May I be healthy and strong. And may I be able to live in this world happily, peacefully, joyfully, and with ease. Now turn your thoughts to this vast world, the huge earth with all its living creatures. Continue to feel that love bursting through your body as you silently say, may all beings be free from all harm. May they be safe and protected. May all beings be free from all suffering. May they be happy. May all beings be free from all disease and physical pain. May they be healthy and strong. And may all beings be able to live in this world peacefully, happily, joyfully, and with ease. Send your love as far out around the world as possible. And just imagine that energy traveling through the earth. Continue to feel that love centered around your heart. Notice the weight of your feet on the floor. Feel yourself in this present moment, in the now. And when you are ready, you may slowly open your eyes. There. Oh,
Yeah.
oh. It pieces me out to do it.
Yes, it does.
I know. Now it's like, oh, I gotta go get in a cold car and go home.
Wake up again.
Yes. Oh, I thought of something while I was doing that. What was I going to say? Oh, so next week we have Brian Bauer joining us. Guitar virtuoso shredder. I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Yeah.
Yeah, he just, he gives it in a way I can't. Yep, that's for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Yes.
Looking forward
And
to that conversation.
I keep saying I'm going to bring my guitar, and maybe we could do a duel. I'm had my second lesson now, and so I can duel him out with the key of G.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, I am very, very excited about. I love watching people who are good at what they do, and I can't wait to hear. Yeah.
It's the passion. Like when someone's passionate about making pancakes, like you can't
Yeah.
help but be interested and kind of, taken into it.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I don't know why I picked passion about pancakes. Because I got egos on the mind.
It must be, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I just want to thank everyone who joined us. Thank you so much for hanging out with us for an hour. And we look forward to hopefully seeing you next week. Thank you, Vida. Thank you, Kate. And I'll probably talk with Kate in a little bit once I get home and get my supper.
Bye, Kate.
Yes.
Hope to see you
I'm not
soon.
going to leave you. Just hanging.
Yeah.
Okay. And as I always say, please take care of yourself and take good care of each other and be well. And see you next week. Bye-bye.